Well, hey there, everybody. It's me, Esther Bartkiw. Today I want to talk to you about time and timelines. If there is no time, and time really doesn't exist, which we understand this from a scientific perspective, also from a spiritual perspective, then when we talk about timelines, shifting timelines, jumping timelines, are we contradicting ourselves? Interesting topic. I have some thoughts on it. I'd love you to share your thoughts on that question down below in the comment section. I read everything that you post and always love to hear from you. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Esther Bartkiw. I am a core belief therapist. What does that mean? Well, the therapy I do is, let's say, based on the premise of the law of attraction. What you believe is what you create in your life. So if you're wanting to create, manifest, experience something in your life, and no matter what you do, you are just not getting anywhere, then what that tells me is you have limiting beliefs at hand. Maybe sabotaging patterns or behaviors, concepts of reality that are not even yours, but you've inherited. Maybe there's a memory from the past and it's a painful, hurtful memory, and that memory stops you from moving forward and making new decisions, choices, taking a risk, going on an adventure. So in the inner work sessions that I do, I take you on a journey to discover, explore, and begin to change those limiting beliefs and the systems created around it, so that moving forward, you have an inner world that is supporting your new choices, and you know what direction you're going in. You can begin to live the life that you desire. I'll put a link below so you can connect with me, more information about my services. But right now, we're talking about time and timelines. So there is no time. Singularity. Some people call it God, source, prime creator, universe. Time does not exist. There is no time. But we experience time here on planet Earth. Why is that? Well, we are light, and when we are slowed down and we are attached to mass, this human body, the mass, the body allows us to experience time. And actually, experiencing time is quite beneficial to us, right? It helps us to be organized. It helps us to be scheduled. It helps us to make connections. There is a point where time can be a liability, a limitation, when we get caught up. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. One of the topics that I would say the 50 plus crowd come to me for help with is they say, Esther, I don't have much time here on planet Earth, and I haven't accomplished anything that I want. And I'm aging and I look horrible, and I look back on my life and I've wasted my life. I've wasted so much time. So at that point, time becomes a liability, but there's also some beautiful benefits to having time. Okay? So we experience time here on planet Earth because we are in this mass. The mass allows us to experience time. But if there really is no time, when we talk about jumping timelines, whether it's a personal timeline shift or a collective timeline shift, are we contradicting ourselves? And here's my thoughts. I don't believe we're contradicting ourselves at all. No, because when I speak of timelines, when I think of timelines, I look at it as a new path of potential. Right? I'm moving through my life. I make a new decision. I have an aha. I have an awareness. Ooh, I can't believe I've been doing that. That's not really good. Awareness. I'm going to do this instead. Make a decision. And then you have to take action on that decision to set that decision into motion. And what I've done is I have shifted a timeline. What I refer to is I've shifted a path of potential. I've moved on to a new path because every decision with action is going to take us onto a new path. So we have unlimited possibilities laid out before us. Unlimited. Think about it this way. When you wake up in the morning and you have breakfast, You have unlimited choices. Hey, you may pick the same choice over and over and over and over and over again and only switch it up maybe once or twice a month, but you really have unlimited choices. It's like that in life as well, but people don't realize it. They think they have two choices. They think they only have one choice. They think they have no choice, but really unlimited choices. Sometimes you have to be aware, first of all. That might be new information to you, that I have unlimited choices. So that's something we can work on together to create that awareness. Then when you realize you have all these choices, it's time for you to decide what you want to choose. Not what the mind is telling you to choose. Not what some part that is afraid you're going to fail and get hurt and laughed at is telling you to choose, but what you want to choose. You, me, Esther, from the heart, what is my choice? And then once you've made that choice, you make that decision, you start taking action steps to support it. And when you slip or when that old pattern comes up, because it does, as soon as you catch it, you halt yourself and say, and you just like dissolve, like curtain down, fade to black. What does Esther want in this moment? What is Esther choosing in this moment? I'm not listening to the mind. I'm not listening to that part. What does Esther want? And by doing so, you shift your timelines, you shift your paths of potential. And I really believe every time we make a new decision and take action on it, we're always shifting. And we do this in our personal lives. But also you can expand that outlook. A decision could be made in a family that shifts the path of the family. Okay, it could be anything from something very sad and sudden happens, like a divorce or a death, and that really kind of shifts the path of the family. And everybody shifts along with it, but you get to make individual choices within that shift. Okay, just because a group of people shift their path of potential doesn't mean you have to go along for the ride. Now, we discovered that in a very big way over the last few years, right? The collective, the world, or certain people in the world instigated a big shift, and some people just went along with it and didn't ask questions and okay, and tell me what to do, and this is for the greater good of everybody, and just went along with it. And other people, we went, you know what, hey, hold up, wait a minute, this doesn't sound right, this doesn't feel right, this doesn't logically align up. You know, when I tune into myself, it doesn't line up as well. And so even though there was this woof of the collective, a big shift, some people went along with it, and then some people are like, no, I'm living in this shift, but I'm still making my own decisions within it. Okay? Communities can make a timeline shift. Your business could be heading in one direction, and one day you wake up and you say, you know what, I'm not talking about nutrition anymore. Nutrition's great. I've done that for 20 years. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I want to talk about getting out into the sunshine and planting your feet on the bare ground and being in water and no blue light after sunlight. That's what I want to talk about. And now your business makes a shift. Okay. Your country can have a timeline shift, the world and the collective. Okay. Mostly we focus on our individual shifts, but you can expand it out. Now, sometimes I speak with people and they're like, oh, Esther, the collective, I don't want anything to do with the collective. They're full of fear and worry, and they'll call them, you know, they're sheep and they just go along with the crowd. I don't want anything to do with the collective. Well, that person is part of the collective. I'm part of the collective. You're part of the collective. So if we notice that the collective is in a state, in a position, on a path that we're thinking, wow, that's not really beneficial, that's not fun, that's not loving, that's not abundance, that's not living in joy here on planet Earth. How do we shift it? And we shift it by making our individual changes. Oh yes, some people will try to go and shake awake the collective, right? Grab the bullhorn, walk down to the main promenade, start shouting things, and you might reach some people in that regards, but you'll also probably anger a lot of people, and some people are just going to go wacko and walk away. For me, the best way to influence the collective is to make what I believe to be positive, uplifting changes in my personal life that benefit me, benefit those around me, and I can see will have a ripple effect to affect the collective. Okay, that's how we affect the collective in a positive way. It starts with us individually making choices for ourselves. So as we shift our own timeline, path of potential, we can help to shift the collective path of potential. All right. So I'm going to end this video here right now, but I'm going to record a personal story, and then I'm going to decide whether or not to add that personal story. Okay, let's see what I do. All right, so if you feel you have the thrust of this video, that yes, we live in no time, we have time because we are light and we're connected to mass, and from my opinion, go ahead and talk about timelines. They're just different paths of potential. Then move on your day. All right, I'll put a link below. If you need my help to make some inner change, reflecting in your outward reality, contact me and let's get that started. But I'm going to share with you a personal story, because sometimes the personal stories will hit home in a certain way. So this is my summer. I'm here in Saranda. This is my summer to really implement the quantum health practices, the circadian rhythm practices that I began to implement and really dive into regarding knowledge last summer. And I am loving every minute of it. And wow, what a difference it's made in my life. This is also my summer to do only what brings me pleasure, what I feel joy about in the moment. And during the last eclipse season, the spring eclipse season, that was my eclipse message. Esther, when you get to Saranda this summer, only do things if you just love it and want to in the moment. So only write a post if you really feel it and love it. Only do a video if you feel it and love it. Only go to the grocery store if you feel it and love it, right? Only go swimming if you feel it and love it, right? Only do what you love, not what the mind or some other part of you is telling you to do. Because the mind, and I realize now, how much control the mind had for quite a while. The mind will say, Esther, you haven't written a newsletter, a post, done a video in a very long time. And you know what the marketing people say, you've got to pump out content and you've got to be in people's faces or they're going to forget who you are. And then they're not going to book sessions with you. And if they don't book sessions with you, you're not going to have any money. And then what are you going to do, Esther? So before you do anything else, you better sit down and write a post, write a newsletter, create a course, make a video. That's the mind. That's the mind. And I get it. The mind is trying to protect me, like if you followed that through, from being in a place of having no money. It's fear of loss, fear of not enough, fear of lack, right? And so some people might say, well, that's really great. I'd love to have a mind that's always reminding me. But if it goes against what I feel in the moment, is it really beneficial? Because there's many times I found myself writing a post, writing a newsletter, and my heart was not in it, but I could hear the mind pushing me. And I'll tell you, it comes across energetically. I am sure you have read people's content and you're like, they're just pumping out content. There's nothing there. There's some information, but they're just pumping out content. And then when somebody says, I was really inspired to do this for you today, you can feel it. So this morning I woke up, and my typical routine is by 8:30, I'm at the beach, I'm swimming, I'm getting my sun vitamin D, I'm doing my visualizations, my meditations, I'm being one with the sea, water is my element. And I was having my coffee this morning, and I was like, I don't really feel like rushing down to the beach this morning. And I could hear my mind going, you better go put your swimsuit on and get down to the beach. You need your exercise, and you want to get that sun because you're going for a certain number of vitamin D and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, thank you. I feel like doing that video today about time and timelines for everybody. And I really felt that in my heart. And so here we are. Yesterday, I did go to the beach in the morning. I did my swimming, I did my sunning. And while I was at the beach, I was flipping through my phone and I had a message that it was National Orgasm Day. I did a post about it last year, and so I put it in my calendar to remind me for this year. And instantly I felt like I want to write a little post about it because this is really important. I do get a lot of ladies who come to me who are uncomfortable with their sexuality, their sensuality. They've never had an orgasm. They're uncomfortable with touch. They want to be in a relationship, but they're uncomfortable with touch. It is a topic that comes up a lot. And so I wanted to put out something that was not too kitschy, had enough information for someone to read it and say, oh, there's some good information here too, and to maybe provoke thought in the person that, hey, maybe this is something I need to look at. So I really felt it in my heart. And when I came home, I sat down with a pad of paper and I said, okay, I want this to be no more than 5 sentences. And it just flowed and went on the paper. And then I transferred it to blog and all my social media, and there it was. And that I felt it, I wanted to do it, it came from the heart. If I had forced myself to write the post, I better write this post, I need to do a Sunday post, could it be effective? Absolutely. Absolutely it could be. But people could also have received it energetically as pumping out content, contrived. And for me, there's a difference when I am being creative because I feel it and I'm in the moment and I'm in the present and I really want to give this information to all of you, than when I'm hearing the mind say, you better write a newsletter. You haven't written a newsletter in a long time. So this is my summer to do what I want, when I want. So I'm doing this video for you. I didn't go swimming this morning. If I wanted to go swimming later on, I will go swimming. I go swimming 6 days a week, so if I miss one day, it's not a big deal at all. But I'm taking that into account for everything. What does Esther want to eat? Not what the mind is telling me I should eat. That's good, that's not good, that's carb, that's not carb. But what does Esther want to eat? When I'm going out for my Freddo cappuccino, I can hear the mind chumming and say, well, you know, if you go there at this time of the day, there's going to be no shadow. And if you go there to the other place at this time of the day, there might be too many people there. And the mind's, I know it's trying to help me. I get it. But I want the mind just to do what it's meant to do, right? So when I'm going to the grocery store and I say, okay, I'm going to Planet, the mind comes in and says, oh, I know how to get you from your apartment to Planet. That's really easy. right? When I say I'm going to take the bus and I'm going to go to Mango, the mind chimes in and says, ooh, you've got a bus at 6:30, 7, 7:38, and 8:30. Those are your first bus options, Esther. That's what I want the mind to do. But everything else, I make decisions from the heart. Okay? So that I can stop and say, Esther, doesn't matter if it's crowded, doesn't matter if it's sunny or shadow, where do you want to sit and have cappuccino? It's a huge difference. And maybe as I'm speaking about this piece, you're realizing, wait a minute, I don't know the difference between what my mind is telling me and what I like. I don't know if what I like is really influenced by mom, dad, sister, husband, teacher, minister, best friends. Do I really like it? Right? Sometimes that can produce the biggest timeline shift for people when they realize, wait a minute, that thought, whose thought is it? Is it yours? Is it a part of you? Is it your mind? Your mind is a part of you, but I'm just kind of distinctly putting it out there. Are you having that thought because that's how you grew up and what people believed in your family? But what do you want? Often when I'm working with people and we make significant change in their lives, the person will say, oh my gosh, now I have to figure out who Jane is. Now I have to figure out who Thomas is. Now I have to figure out who Esther is. And I said, yes, so much fun. It can be a little bit aggravating at times because you realize how many choices you do have, and then sometimes people get upset because they realize they had so many choices and they didn't make them. But we move through all of that, but it can be really fun, right? What is Esther like in all of this? And I'll say to my client, I'll say, yes. I said, if you eat vanilla ice cream all the time, next time you go buy ice cream, stop for a moment and ask yourself, what flavor do you really want? Are you just eating vanilla because mom ate vanilla? Are you eating vanilla ice cream because in your household, mom only bought groceries of foods that dad liked and dad liked vanilla, so the whole family had to like vanilla, right? It's time to discover what you like. And so that's my summer, and it's kind of fun. Also, I am deep diving, not kind of fun, it's really fun. I'm also deep diving into beliefs, but patterns that are created out of beliefs. Sometimes that's the way in. I've identified the pattern and then I find the beliefs that are attached to it. And what I found was two patterns that have been lifelong patterns with me. I'm going to say since the age of 2 is when I've kind of dug back to them. And while those patterns were implemented by parts of me that wanted to protect me and take care of me and support me and give me security when I didn't feel that at age 2, age 4, age 5, age 8, age 11, age 18, age 22, age 33, because these patterns build upon each other. And I've been doing the inner work on these patterns, creating awareness, right? Because the change starts when you go, oh my God. And I've been doing that my whole entire life. And I thought that was really good, but now I'm seeing how that's been holding me back, right? You have to have that awareness. In that awareness, then, you make a new decision. Okay, I want this instead. I want to do this instead. I want to look at things this way instead. I want to, take action in this way instead. You make a new decision and then follow through on that decision. You've got to take the action, follow through. That's what starts establishing a new pattern, right? That's what establishing a new pattern. That is what shifts you a new path potential, new timeline, right? And then as you're walking along that new path, doing this new thing that you're doing, sometimes you slip back. Sometimes that old pattern comes up. But, you know, there's nothing to despair. It's not game over. As soon as you catch it, you go, oh my gosh, I'm doing that thing I used to do that I am not doing anymore. That's in the past. And what I do is I just kind of pause, and it's just like I let it dissolve, like curtain fade to black. And I take a deep breath, and I bring myself to a state of neutrality, and I go, Esther, what do you choose in this moment? What do you feel in this moment? What is going to support you in creating the life that you want in this moment? And so I've been doing some really deep work. The work I do on myself is exactly the same work that I do with all of you, okay? And I've shifted 2 patterns, and now I'm moving down this new path, new timeline, and I'm building, I'm making it stronger. When the old kind of creeps back in, I'm catching it really quickly. So what I see now is, for my time remaining in Surrender, is I'm establishing these new patterns that I've decided on. And Surrender is a beautiful place to do this, because the sea waters here, they're very special and very healing. I'm a water element girl. Plus, even though it's a very busy touristic area, it's quite calm here. Not all touristic areas are calm. It's quite calm here. This is a perfect area for me to make these shifts and to firmly establish myself on a new timeline, new path, and then, hey, there'll be more decisions coming along the way. So that's just a little update of my summer, and I'm trying to weave in some of the pieces that we were talking about regarding time and timelines. Also, I feel that these stories often will provoke awareness of what might be going on in your life that requires some attention, maybe some change. There's a lot of time I will write a post or do a video and people say, oh, you got me thinking. And that's good. That's a start. All right, everybody. So we are in the 1st of August. I wish you a happy August, rest of the summer. For those of you down in the south, you're continuing your winter. Enjoy that, because summer's right around the corner. I'm going to put my links below. And if you did stick around to the end of the video, let me know. I'd like to know if you like these personal stories, if they help a lot or even a little. All right. Ciao, Bellas.